hi everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Non-Traditional Headspace. Thank you for joining me again. This is Denise. Today, we're going to do one of those mixed up episodes, but the main topic for today is going to be things I actually like or dig from France. Because I know I've been complaining a little bit more than usual about things that don't work here or things that are not working for me here. But there's a few things that I have to give a shout out to because I do feel like there's certain positive things or things that I do consider that is worth mentioning, of course, that you might find interesting too. So here we go. Let's talk about food because this is something that most people can consider attractive, to know about what is good there that we should try when you come here. Well, in general, it's not that I prefer, 100% their food over what I like, because of course I crave stuff that are culturally attached to myself. I just feel nostalgic about certain smells, tastes, and textures of food in general. The first thing that I would mention about food here is that the quality of the ingredients is quite good. And anyone who has been here, whether it's only for tourist reasons or short periods of time, whether it's long term stays like mine or undefined in general, you would find out if you go to a grocery store or a small mini market or supermarket here, and you're going to find things that you can also find in your countries as well. But the quality here, I consider it to be better than the entire American continent in some things. And when I say there's a lot of good ingredients here, they really try to make an effort in investigating and analyzing that all of the food is made with healthier ingredients. And we all know this because there's a lot of products that have been banned in the US, for instance. And if it's banned in the US, it should be banned in a lot of the Latin American countries as well, which are very much influenced, as you know, from the North American culture. But a lot of things are banned from entering here in Europe. And of course, France is part of those countries. But you still can get your hands on certain brands that you might find in the US or Latin America. They might not taste the same because they're not using the same ingredients, because they're more regulated, or they are replacing certain ingredients with actual ingredients that are healthier for you. Not that these foods are actually the best to consume if you compare it to all of the other things that you can get here, but just for people who are attached to a brand, I think. So let's talk about the foods that I think you should try or you should consider trying. First one, here it's a tradition to have desserts always. And there's a lot of people who are really good at making their own desserts. Like you would find easily somebody like, oh, I brought this cake that I made with my bare hands. And they come out with this tiramisu, or they can even make macaroons at home, I think. Like, I cannot do that. Like, I'm not good at patisserie. So, I'm sorry. I would probably end up buying something to offer people as a dessert. If that's the case, if you're like me, then you could try or consider going for the safe substitution of a handmade dessert, which is any type of yogurt or compote. Okay, here they're big on yogurt. Like, they will also consume yogurt as dessert, as a traditional food, as dessert. So that's why whenever you go to a grocery store here, supermarket, you will find these huge aisles of yogurt and all of the other derivatives of anything that relates to or is similar to yogurt. They're huge. And even in the small mini markets or rapid supermarkets that you find, there is a very good chunk dedicated portion of it to these yogurts and packaged desserts. So I would encourage you to try those because the yogurt is not like the typical yogurt that we associate. Like, I remember that when I was little, somebody would offer me a yogurt and I was like, ugh, no. Like, I would think either it's plain yogurt, which I didn't dig back then, and if not, it would be like very sugary, sweet yogurt that is just nasty. And even if I go back to Latin America and I try to have one of those yogurts that are fruit like yogurts, they taste like shit. Let's be honest. They're so sweet. They're not using real ingredients, or at least not real flavors from fruit. What they're doing is adding a lot of chemicals and a lot of sweeteners and a lot of, you know, induced flavors that are not natural. And the outcome is very shitty flavors. Here, it's the opposite. Actually, they can even eat like the puddings or the compotes that we know to be given in Latin America or America in general to babies. Here, adults eat that as dessert as well because they're good. They're actually made of real fruit and well made, you know, like they really taste good. So at first, when I saw it, I was like, ew, I'm not a baby. Why are we having this? Why are we buying this? But once you try it, you realize that they're well made. So they're good. And then they have like this mousse section as well, you know, delicious. And I also tried this milk pudding. It's not a pudding. I'm going to put up the picture here for you guys. But it's from this brand also, De Maman, which is a very famous brand. You can see the logo and everything. It's designed to be like reminding you of something that your grandma would do. So yeah, it's very old fashioned. But that's the appeal to the brand. And they have a lot of other things. They have also marmalades or jams, which we're going to talk about in a bit. But anyway, the yogurt section and all of the derivatives, the mousse, the compotes, everything is delicious. And they have a big section. Did you know that there's almost like a high percentage of consumption of yogurt concentrated here in France because they consume it so much? If I'm not mistaken, and I read this somewhere, there is a quantity of kilos that I'm going to show up here per person annually consumed when it comes to yogurt here. Interesting fact, okay? Then other quality foods that I wanted to talk about, like I like to have chips every now and then, like I do. That's comfort food to me sometimes. But the chips here, it's interesting because you get Lay's like this one, or you also get Brett's, which is a local brand here, doing chips that before, and I also want to attach this to the fact that when we were younger, we probably do not like this type of flavors, but as you're getting older, you realize you start liking certain things. Like yogurt, it was disgusting to me when I was younger, you know? I would never consider eating yogurt. Now I can't imagine myself not even eating yogurt every now and then, especially for breakfast. I love to make breakfast bowls with the base of yogurt. And now desserts here are introduced to you, like I said, as yogurt or anything from dairy bits. So I love it. But anyway, the chips, they're good. Lay's, for example, I don't think they're doing this job in the US, for instance, like the branding, the message behind it. And you can find at the back of the chip bag that it says that they're putting an effort on trying to bring things because they have this whole campaign of 0 kilometer consumption here, like trying not to consume as much imported stuff, but more local stuff. So that's great. I think it's a good initiative, although quite unrealistic considering that now people are so accustomed to get things whenever they want, wherever they want. And not necessarily a good thing, I know, but that's reality, especially people getting, pink pineapples or shit like that. That it's totally nuts. But the chips, like I said, look at that. Like they're showing you that they come from local producers, and they're trying to, they had this massive, yeah, grève here, which is manifestation of the producers, the agronomers here. They they really stood up for themselves. You know that the French people like to do that, right? They like to riot a lot. So that's a thing here. And you can get affected by it. Like, that's an excuse for not getting to work sometimes, I guess. Like, there's a riot near my home and I can't go out. Anyway, so the point is that they are trying to support this local consumption. And part of it is so interesting when I was reading, like, you're eating the chips and then you start looking at the bag and, oh, like, but the flavors. I had not tasted this until I came here and I became kind of addicted to them. The first one is like this onion, caramelized onion, the Roscoff. My God, delicious. I love it. Divine. And then we have the other one is this, the vinegar, the salt and vinegar. And I know there's memes out there of somebody saying, who is putting or trending these chips of salt and vinegar? I'm one, sorry. Like, I love them. And maybe it's my age. The person who probably made that meme is younger and probably in their 20s or younger. But if you're an adult and you taste this, and you're going to love the flavor, because for some reason, now as an adult, you also start liking other flavors like balsamic vinegar, which they use a lot here, and you get very good quality of balsamic vinegar here. And you make all the dressings for your salads with it. Then there's another thing. Speaking about dressings and, spicing up your food here. The moutarde. Like, I didn't know this type of mustard until I started dating my boyfriend, which is French. And honestly, I have to say that I had been living in ignorance because it is so good. It's the grainy, it's grains of mustard. It's not the spread, because the actual mustard here that comes in spread is very strong. Like, the taste is quite strong. It actually feels more like the German one that I've had before. Very, very strong in taste. I don't enjoy it. For me, the idea of a spread mustard is whatever the Hunt's one or the Hellman's one that we know from sandwiches, hot dogs, influenced by, again, North American culture. But then he introduced me, like, he started preparing things and vinaigrettes and things with this moutarde à l'ancien, which is mustard which the grains have been dipped in wine. Delicious. So then, if you want to impress someone, for those of you who didn't know about this, just try to go and find in the supermarket that type of mustard. I encourage you to spread it over a chicken, even if it's a rotisserie chicken that you're already buying from the supermarket or from PriceMart or Costco, wherever. Just anoint it with this mustard. Add some, of course, oil to it or butter. And we're talking about butter soon too. And you're going to have a delicious flavor on your food. And you can add it. I add it to everything now, like everything. All of the meats and everything. They just taste delicious. So that one is another good thing about French people here. Oh, well, let's talk about the marmalades or jams. Like I said, they have a very also traditional breakfast here is having piece of toast, bread, or of course the famous baguette bread. And then they would spread some butter, and there's two components here because butter and jam or marmalade would go together for breakfast or with bread here. And both elements are of exquisite taste here for some reason. Whatever shit that we're eating and we're giving to in America, that shit is not butter. I'm telling you, that shit is not butter. Butter is what you get here. And that's the actual real butter. The taste is delicious. You can actually spread it easily, and the texture of it is particularly soft and rich and creamy. Not the shit that you get. And whatever it is that you get creamy in America, in Latin America, in the American continent, you know what that is. It comes in the huge pans like this. The brown ones, yes, we're looking this up. It's showing up, right? Like these brown pans, the crockpot motherfucker, I don't know what the name is. This shit ain't butter, okay? It's a bunch of plastic or other bullshit. This ain't butter. That's the things that our mothers, and then when you get older, you also become your mother and you use it to store soups and shit in the fridge. Yes, that one. That ain't butter, my friend. Sorry to break and pop your bubble. That ain't butter, okay? Butter is what you get here, and it's delicious, and they sell them in these huge chunks of butter. You can just store it, and they consume it so much that they buy it in huge chunks like that. So if you have access to that, try it. And the brand that they usually commercialize in other regions or continents, President, which is standard. Not the best one, but if you have access to it and you can tell the difference from whatever it is that you're consuming, you will feel the difference. So that's another beautiful thing. And then the jams and marmalades. There's one particular flavor that you need to try. Like, trust me on this one. It's that myrtille, okay? Which is not blueberry, it's not strawberry, it is not raspberry either. So it's a berry, but it's a wild mix between blueberry and, the other gooseberries that you find in the US as well. But no, this is a local wild berry that I have also picked up myself. And then the mother of my partner makes her own homemade myrtille marmalade. And it's delicious. Like, the taste is incredible. The stain of the fruit, don't get it on your clothes because it's going to be fucked up. But other than that, the taste is delicious. And you can also find it in the Maman brand. You can find it in the supermarket. But that flavor, the myrtille, because they have all flavors as well. They have apricot, they have framboise, whatever, fraise. But myrtille, that one, my friends, is the jam. Other things, quality foods and things that I discovered here that I have become addicted to in some ways. Just to wrap up the food, there's a whole lot of things that I can talk about because there's things that French are famous for. Of course, they have a tremendously good foie gras, which I love. That's a little bit more expensive. If not, they make their own pâtés. Like the father of my partner also makes his own pâtés because his brother Hans. So there's a whole different, you see, the whole dynamic is different. I know in the US, a lot of people do this in some of the states, and in Canada as well, people who go hunting and then they prepare their own or they keep their own meat. Wonderful. I love the idea of that. And also the idea of a lot of people who leave what they call here that campagne, which is outside the city area, the more starting to get more rural, then people really have their own gardens. And I've been growing my own garden since last year. I did my first experiment to grow myself some crops and it worked. So I'm going to keep doing it. And you can actually store them and you can actually save money with this. So it's a very good tradition. And plus, you're growing your own thing, so you know what's going into the soil. No chemicals, it's all natural. So wonderful. So I was telling you, another thing that I liked was the fact that I became, as I have been growing up as an adult as well, I have been loving, the carbonated water or soda water. Because I've had for all of my as I was growing up from my childhood, teenage years, and adult life, an addiction to sodas, Coca-Cola, which that is interesting. It doesn't taste the same here, and that's a perfect excuse to quit here because you don't get the fucking toxic, addictive, sugary flavor that you get in Latin America or America for the soda. And you also get Dr. Pepper here. I just realized that recently, which is not a good thing. You don't want to let me know that there's Dr. Pepper here because I'll go for it. But I haven't fallen for it yet. And I'm sure that the taste is not going to be the same because whatever they bring here, they're not using the sugarcane syrup that they're using in America. So I'm sure it's not going to taste the same and I'll be disappointed. And I don't want to waste my money and I don't want to hate on things more here because I'm trying to be more positive, right? So I'm not going to go there. But the point is, because I've had an addiction before to soda, especially Coca-Cola, because who the fuck likes Pepsi? Like, that is up for discussion, dudes. Like, if you want to debate me at some point, I'm a connoisseur de soda. Okay, Coca-Cola, Pepsi 0, Coca-Cola 100, my friend. Like, you can't go wrong with Coca-Cola when it comes to sodas. Like, if you're going to be addicted to soda, fuck off with the Pepsi. Okay, that's shit. You're drinking shit. But that's not good. The flavor is shitty. Like, no, don't do it. It's like Mountain Dew, by the way. Who the fuck drinks Mountain Dew? That thing, just by looking at it, the color of the actual liquid looks radioactive. Like it's fluorescent. And your pee is going to come out fluorescent probably. Why would you drink that? Plus, it tastes like shit. So no. Who the fuck is... That's a meme. Like, who the fuck is keeping Mountain Dew on the market? Don't hate on my vinegar chips. Hate on the fucking Mountain Dew. That shit is horrible. Anyway. I just digress. But the point is that since I had an addiction to sodas, I slowly changed and decided to start drinking more carbonated water because that's the closest to the soda sensation that you can get because of the bubbles in the drink. And then I came here and I found out about soda stream machines. Okay, if you never heard it and you like soda because you're an adult and you are weird now, like all of the adults are, once you get to an age that you start becoming weird and liking things that you normally didn't like, then this is another thing. The soda stream machine. There's this machine, then you actually have some bottles that are custom fit for the machine. And you press 3 times on that thing, and then you have carbonated water. How great is that? And you can add flavors. I don't add anything myself, but if you're just that junkie on soda, you can add flavors as well. Point is, I started seeing it, like friends invited us to their homes, and then I started seeing the same bottle, the same brand. I'm like, is this something that you can make at home? Carbonated water? I gotta have this. And I for sure got it. Like, I went out and got myself one of those, and I have not regretted it since. Both of us keep drinking carbonated water all the time, me and my boyfriend. Of course, that, and this is a disclaimer, is not a substitute for regular water. Make sure you get your 2-liter intake of water daily, people. Just a disclaimer there. Another thing, speaking about things that you start liking as an adult and then that you find here, particularly in France, that are delicious, are the pickled goods. And when I talk pickled goods, it's specifically the cornichons. Delicious. Delicious, man. I hated anything that was pickled, like pickled pickles, like the huge pickles that they commercialize in the US and then America as well. I hated them. Like, I hated the idea of biting on one of those huge things, and I hated it. I actually had an inside joke with someone about putting in their bag every time they traveled one of those pickles, and they would find it randomly. Because the idea of eating a huge pickle was disgusting to me. But then I came here, and wherever you go, also they have it as like, an entree, which is something that they would serve when you just get somewhere, to pick on. Whew, I like them. Cornichons. And they bring like the mini onions as well. It's delicious. I don't know what it's up. And they're also made, some of them with this mustard that I'm telling you with the grains. Delicious. 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 And then there's also the small packages, of course, of the saucisson that I like, because they eat these whenever they serve you also something to pick on. It's, a classic as well. Saucisson. Of course, there's varieties of saucissons, and there's a whole, it's like cheeses, okay? It's a whole world of saucissons here. But then they have the mini ones that I like, and those you can have them as a snack. And there, this one's in particular that I found. This is the cheap brand, but there's, of course, better ones, out there, I'm sure, handmade and everything, like normally. But some of them are covered with Parmesan cheese. Oh my God. Delicious. Delicious. I'm just telling you, trust me on this one. So that's about food. I'm sure that I'm missing a whole lot more things. Like, I will keep on coming with more things because there's a lot of things that are good here. Like, these people, they do have some good quality things, and all of the ones I've mentioned are like basic ones that you should try here. Moving on to skincare, creams, and shit. This is a must. You're in France, and these people also have invested so much time and energy improving all of the things that have to do with skincare, medicine, and technology associated with it. So, of course, I'm going to talk about brands that I like. Because the first thing I did when I came here, because I had to go for work purposes, the first thing I had to do is go to Paris and stay there for a couple of weeks. And the first thing I did, I took my ass to the biggest pharma store which is called City Pharma. Yeah, you will find mostly foreigners that are going crazy like I was in that moment, buying things, but they're good. They are good. So, of course, I got all the cliche products, and I got things that I love. And part of the things that I love, I have things here, is Nux. This brand, you will find it in any pharmacy. And if you want to feel how French women smell, this is the smell. Huile prodigieuse. Okay? This is the smell. They have it in other presentations. They even have one, and I have a smaller version of this, which has a little bit of glitter and sparkle to it. I would wear it in the summer. But this smells like France. Like, it smells like France. I cannot explain this. It smells like France. This brand also has other things like nobody's talking about. Like, this is like kept secret. Like, I think because they just give it for granted here. Like, whatever. Pharmacy product, like whatever. The quality is so good and the prices are good because the quality and price balance is there, my friend. It's there. So, telling you, I got this. This is like a body splash, but it's a fragrant water, they say, but it's a goddamn body splash, and it smells delicious. It smells like luxury Bath and Body Victoria's Secret body splash to another level. And it's probably priced the same price as their fucking body splashes that we know that every year they smell for less time on you. And then I have also from New Rêve de Miel, this is a lip balm. It's delicious also. The smell, I'm telling you, the smells are delicious. And the texture of it is delicious. Like, you look at this and you feel like luxurious. You feel like an old lady applying balms on your body. So this is for the lips. And then this one is Balm Regard Lumière Anti-Age Absolu. This is an eye balm. Also from, oh my God, the smell. The smell. Like just by the smell, and then the texture. The texture is soft and silky and delicious. Cannot explain it. Of course, I do have Lancome as well for the eyes, because that's a must. So you are in the place to be when it comes to this. And then there's also Claude de Lys, which is another brand that you have to smell their oils and fragrances. And they have this mist that I don't love the smell. I'm gonna be honest. I don't love the smell. But I know that Drake uses it, and it's a hype in the US. But it's a regular thing that people just have here in their purse or in their traveling bag. So it's not that expensive. So if you're here, get yourself that. And then there's other like well-kept tricks, that a lot of people talk about with Biafine. That one, you can apply it whenever you have like bad skin burns. That's like the balm to apply to your skin. And they also have the 813, which is like this retinol, but it's not so strong. And I actually apply it every 2 weeks whenever I feel like I'm about to break out, or I am already breaking out because of my period. At night, of course. I use it at night before the bed. It's really oily, and I have a very oily skin, but that, I don't know what the hell goes on with that cream. But next morning, my skin is fine. It's like it takes away all like the little bumps in my face, and I love it. I love it. So that's another well-kept trick. And now we're going to talk about the brand that we know that is in a lot of places. It's something that has become more universal at this point, which is L'Occitane. Okay, L'Occitane, I love it. I discovered this when I was already living in Guatemala. I started using it. I actually got some products for my boyfriend as well, because, men, they hate anything that takes more than 2 seconds because their attention span is gone after 2 seconds. So I told him, try this, because he's usually out in the sun. He likes to surf. He likes to do outdoors, extreme sports. So he started getting wrinkles faster than me, of course, because I'm doing all the beauty here, my honey. I'm like doing all the beauty procedures. So I got him these watery balms that you can put in your eyes and in your face from L'Occitane, and he loved it. And he was really hooked up with the cream that I got him, which is a water base. Like you can feel like it's very quenching. And then I also got him recently one from that brand that is the brand for people who have acne problems, which La Roche-Posay. Okay, that's a brand. I use it for all of my skincare routine daily. My face wash is from that, and it's La Effaclat, because I have acne prone skin, sorry. And I also use the toner, the same Effaclat line. And I also have the Effaclat Imperfections cream. You apply it afterwards, and then the moisturizer, and then you're done. That is my routine, okay? Love it. It works for my skin. Not that it works for everyone. You have to try things. They have a lot of products, though. But that one is good. Vichy is also another one that I like. I love what I like from La Roche-Posay that I have in all of my makeup bags? There's tints. They have skin tints with color and SPF that I love. And then they have a BB cream that is also tinted, and it acts just like the tint itself. Love it. That is also a basic. And of course, you should also consider using an SPF. And for SPF, they also have a great filter, for that. But then, speaking again about L'Occitane. So, see, this is what I carry with me because I love it. Beurre de karité, which I love, shea butter. And it's highly concentrated. And this baby, I would apply it anywhere. Any part of your body. Like, see? It's like thick. Love it. So, no ashy feet here, honey. No ashy feet. No cracked skin during the winter, forget about it. If you have these, you're good to go. And then this, I like it because this is expensive though. This is like more on the expensive side of their brand, I would say. But it's everything that they have in the line of Amande, which is almond. The smell. It's, oh my God, I cannot even explain it. Like, I'm not using it so much because I don't want to waste it. But this is rich, honey. Like, this cream and the smell. My God, if you could smell it. And I have the shower oil as well. Oh my God. If you want to get your man interested, wear this. They would go crazy with the smell. You will go crazy with the smell. And everyone is going to be happy. And you're going to thank me for it too. So this is another well-kept secret. Everything from the line of Diamond from L'Occitane. Delicious. And of course, as I like to be absolutely in the hype trends, I do have this in the smaller presentations and I carry them in my bags because they do have the minis. And those are the best presentations. But I wanted to jump in the train of consumption. So I went and got this very, famous crème de menthe, which in simple words, it's hand cream, people. And it's actually new. I have not opened it. Like, now I put cream on my hands and I can't open this. Let's see. Damn it. Okay, there it is. And look at that. It's thick. It's thick as fuck. Can you see that? Like, it even stands on its own. It's so thick. But this is guaranteed. Oh my God, I'm making a mess. Sorry. But this is guaranteed to give you all the hydration you need for your hands. Because we don't want to be looking nice here and then have like old wrinkly ass hands. Right? Like, say your boyfriend or just somebody that you're interested in grabs your hand and you have all that wrinkly ass hand, harsh, manly hands. No, honey. Got you fixed. And again, the smell is great. It has like this normal cream smell, but it smells also like luxury, like spa, like, So now I have this big ass tube of hand cream that I will have to use. I think it cost me 17 euros, but it's a big ass tube. Like, look at see, it's big ass tube. So again, products from La France that you have to get because they're so good. These people like, oh God. Yeah, I don't care if they say those are cliche things. Like, I don't give a fuck, man. I love these things and I'm gonna be buying them. So thank God I'm here because if you're not buying them as French people, I will. You know what I'm saying? And well, those are about it. The products that I love from France. And there's a lot of things that I'm liking so far. I'm going through an integration as well. And I know I'm extending myself here because it's becoming long, but I'm going through a Republican integration that they do for people who are coming here just to apply for visas. And of course, I came here with a 1-year visa for work. And to renovate it, now I have to go through a 4 complete journey days, like once every month and a half. I have to do a 1 complete day of these integration sessions, and it's 4 of them in total. And it's well done. What can I say? It's well done. Like most of the other countries, I don't think they're doing this. They're not putting much attention on integrating people, making sure people are interested as to why they should get some affection or attachment to the place they're trying to enter and not just go around, fuck around the place and not know why it is important to care about the place that you're trying to enter. So I think that integration program is well done, you know. They teach you about the history of the country, they teach you about just important facts that you should know, and then they teach you about very important links and institutions and contact places that you can reach out to if you ever need help, which is again well done, you know, because they even ask you like, are you having issues finding a good accommodation? Are you having issues just like renting a place for yourself? Are you having issues with food? Like, do you have enough food, or are you able to provide for yourself in the meantime? Do you have a job? If you don't have a job, where can you go to? And then the fourth one is actually to continue either the cultural immersion, or they give you the option to go to a more professional day in that fourth day. Of course, I took the professional because I'm interested in knowing about job opportunities here. But what I mean is, it's well done. And the things that they're teaching you there are relevant and important, and they will help you integrate somewhere and feel like you can count on someone. And they have so many institutions, and the people who are just doing that job there in that Republican integration are doing it well. You know, I felt like the attitude was the right one, not the same opinion that I have about other services, like I've shared before. Like, they can be shitty and they can be assholes. But these people that work for this particular program of integration and just immigration particular program, like I said, are doing a great job. So shout out for you guys on that too in France. I think you're doing a great job. And there's so many places that we can reach out. So I actually have gone, like, I know that in the big cities it's harder, but near the Alps, where I spend time in the village as well, there's a particular, like, small village there called Thon. And there is an office there that you can reach out to. Like, I can't remember if the name is France Help or Help France. No, France Help, I think. And you can just go out there and they will help you out with anything. Like, if you have a question about anything, right? You have any question, like you are disoriented in some kind of way, there's people who are there waiting for you to just go there and ask them something, you know, and they will try to help. I know they did try to help me with what I was wanting to have help for, and they couldn't help me because it was not, of course, in their entire responsibility, but they really made an effort to try to help and reach out to other people who might help. So this is great. I like this. I like these programs. I like how they're doing it. And I wish a lot of the other people who have no idea of how immigration works in general in any country, you know, not just here, because a lot of people are ignorant to these topics in general, you know, hating on immigrants. That's fucked up. But, you know, overall, great job and great products. And I hope you enjoyed this episode because, yeah, I did. Like, I enjoyed sharing things with you. And of course, if I come up with more things that I am sure, I hope I didn't miss any of the ones I had written down here. But if you're here and you can grab some of the stuff that I told you, let me know and share the experience together. So see you next time. Take care. Bye.